In this video, you are going to learn how to create a reusable button styles with auto layout and components. For instance, this particular button, if you click on this icon, it's going to change it to a rounded button. Also, if you want to add an icon to it, you are going to see the icon is going to be applied. Likewise, you can change a color to secondary color, or you can also change it back to primary color. You can hide the icon if you decide not to use it. Likewise, you can change it back to secondary color, or you can also change it back to sharp button instead of making it round, and you can also add an icon to it. So you are going to be learning how to do all of this in Figma. If you are ready, let's get started. In order to get started, firstly, I'm going to create local styles whereby I'm going to add the color that I wanted to use. Click on this plus icon, then you are going to click on color. I'm going to name it as primary color. So I'm going to come to this section, then I'm going to use this color code. Then after that, I'll click on create style. This is the color. I'm still going to add the second color. I'm going to click on this plus icon. So I will name it as secondary color. Then I'm going to click on this section in order to use this color code. So I'm going to paste the color code. So feel free to copy the code. So then click on create style. As you can see, this is the secondary color. After that, I'm going to pick this type 2. So that is, you can press T on your keyboard. Then I'm going to type button. I'm going to select the text. Then I'll scroll down to this section where I have typography. So I'm going to leave it at inter. Then I will change it to medium. Then I'll come to this font size. Then I'll change it to 36. As you can see. So after this timeout, I'm going to add an auto layout. In order to do that, I'm going to press Shift and A on the keyboard. As you can see, the auto layout has been applied. So I'll come to this section whereby I'm going to change the horizontal padding to 20, whereby I'll have to leave the vertical padding as it is, which is 10 pixels. After that, I'll scroll to this section under the fill whereby I'm going to change the fill color. So I'll click on this icon. Then I'm going to select this primary color, as you can see here. Then I'm going to select this text. Then I'm going to change the color to white color. So I'll click on fill to change it and drag it to this section that has been applied. This frame, I'm going to select it. I'm going to name it as button. Then I'll come to this section and create components. So after I'm done creating the component, then I'll add variants to it. As you can see, I'm going to select this second button. So I'll come to this section which is under fill. So as you can see, currently the fill has been linked together. So I'm going to detach it. That is, I'm going to unlink it. Then whereby I have to be able to change the color. I'll click on apply styles and variable. Then I'll select this secondary color. As you can see, it has been applied. So after that, I'm going to select these two buttons. Then I'm going to press Ctrl D in order to have more copy. As you can see, it has been duplicated. Now, these two buttons at the bottom, I'm going to make them a rounded button. So in order to do that, I'm going to divide the height by 2. As you can see, the height is currently 68. So which means I'm going to give it a border radius of 34 pixels. I'll scroll down to this section where I have corner radius. Then I'm going to give it a 34 pixel corner radius. As you can see, it has been applied. Likewise, I'm going to do the same thing for this second button as well. So I'm going to give it a 34 pixel corner radius. As you can see, this has been applied. I'm going to select the components. As you can see here, we have property 1. So I'm going to add more. So click on this plus icon to add. Then I'll click on variants. As you can see, we have property 2. Then click on create property. Then after that, I'm still going to add more. Then I'll click on variants. Then I'll click on create property. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I wanted to add an icon to these buttons. So now I'm going to be styling the button accordingly. So after that, I'll select the first button at the top. Then we have property one. Instead of property one, I'm going to rename it as color. Property two, instead of property two, I'm going to rename it as rounded. That is all these rounded button, so I'm going to apply it to them. Then the third property is going to be an icon. So as you can see, so under the color for the first button, instead of default, I'm going to change the name to primary. It's going to be the primary color. So I'm going to select the second button, whereby I'm going to change the name to secondary color. Then I'm going to select the third one. Instead of variant 4, I'm going to click on this drop down. Then I'll change it to primary. Then this one, I'll select it. Instead of variant 3, I'll change it to secondary color. Then I'll come back to the first one at the top. Under this rounded section, instead of default, so I'm going to give it false. That is, it is not a rounded button. I'll click on this drop down, then I'll select false because it is not a rounded button. Then I'll select this third one, then under rounded, so instead of false or default, I'll give it true because it is a rounded button. Then likewise this section as well. So instead of default, I'll click on this drop down, then I'm going to select true, as you can see. So now we are left with icon. So I'm going to select these 4 buttons all at once, as you can see here. So the icons under this section is going to be false because it didn't have any icon. So I'm going to use false. So don't worry, you are going to understand what I'm trying to do after I'm done, because I'm going to show you everything. Now after that, I'm going to select this component, then I'm going to increase the width so that I can duplicate this button. After that, I'm going to select the 4 button all at once like I did previously. Then in order to duplicate it, I will hold the Alt key on my keyboard. Then I'm going to drag the button to the right hand side in order to create a duplicate of the button, as you can see here. After that, I'm going to select this components again. Then I'm going to reduce the size until both the left hand and the right hand side are equal. As you can see, they have 20 pixel padding altogether. So this time around, I'm going to use an icon. To use the icon, we are going to use a plugin called Font Awesome. So I'm going to right click, then I'll click on plugins. Then I have this Font Awesome plugin. Now click on it. As you can see, it is loading currently. Feel free to search for any icon that you wanted to use for your button, as well as if you like, you can scroll down until you see the one that fits for your design. So this is the one I'm going to be using for this particular design. I'm going to click on it. As you can see, I've clicked on the button, but the button has been applied here, and that's not the location where I want it to be. So I'm going to remove it. But you can see clearly the frame for this icon has been placed here as well, because I don't need the frame, so I'm going to remove the icon frame. So as you can see here, so I'm going to drag the button to this section inside this particular button, as you can see. So I'm going to select it and come to this section under fill. I'm going to change the color to white, as you can see here. This is the white color. So I'm going to select this component again, then I'm going to adjust the width because it is looking too small. So until we have 20 pixels at both ends. So in order to duplicate this icon, I'm going to select the icon, then I'm going to hold the Alt key on my keyboard, then I'm going to drag it to every other section, as you can see. So then I'm going to hold it, drag it, and hold the Alt key as well. As you can see, it has been applied here as well. So I'm going to select it, hold the Alt icon, and drag it to the next one. As you can see, the icons has been applied here successfully. So under this section, so I'm going to select the first button. As you can see, the button color is primary. This is not a rounded button, so it's going to be false. Then the icon is going to be true, so you are going to change it to true. as you can see. So likewise, I'm going to select the second one as well. I'm going to select the third one and the last one here, so that I can change all the icons together. So I'm going to change it to true. So click on this drop down icon, then change it to true. Basically now, let's test our components to see how it looks like. So in order to do that, we are going to come to this section, click on assets. So you are going to see this button component. So you have to drag it to this section or any section that you like, as you can see. So this is where we are going to be testing it out. So I'm going to select this button. So as you can see, this one is having a primary color. I want to make it round, then you can click on this rounded. As you can see, it has been changed to rounded button. If you want to add an icon as well, you can click on icon and the icon is going to be applied, as you can see. Likewise, if you want to change it from primary color to secondary color, so you can also do that as well. So this is how you can create a reusable button styles using auto layout and components in Figma. If this video has been helpful to you, please support my channel by giving this video a like. Also, subscribe to my channel so that each time I upload a new video like this, you'll be the first person to be updated. Share this video among your loved ones. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.